Mrs. Malozzi, did you say? Mrs. Malozzi, hold on one second, okay? I have to get someone else to come to the phone, and I'm actually doing a little broadcast of this very important call on Google Hangouts. Hold on one second, okay? Hold on. Mrs. Malozzi? Yes, hold on about 35 seconds, okay? Okay? Okay. We're going to be calling a woman by the name of Nisa Sweet, who's in Chicago. Hold on one second. I'm getting a busy. I'm going to I'll call a different woman then. They're equally important. Hold on one second, okay? It's about it's about honoring the women of Chicago. And you're very important in this. Hold on one second, okay? Mrs. Malozzi? I lost the line.
You have reached the City of Chicago's 31.
Ms. Bayer, did you say? Dabbs, Ms. Dabbs. Hi, Ms. Dabbs. I want to put you on hold. I'm actually broadcasting this call on Hangouts on Air, which is a facility that is provided over the internet for people to do conferencing and connect worldwide. And I'm calling you because I want to prevent any further degradation in the situation of women and children in Chicago. And I have some very important people to connect all women with over these broadcasts. I'll explain more to you in a little bit, okay? But hold on one second. It'll take me about 35 seconds. All right.
Hello, ma'am. My supervisor's on the line.
Okay. What is your name? Ms. Clovati. Hi, Ms. Clovati. I'm currently doing this call to make a deep systems change that will be not only protective to all the people of Chicago. I'm a relation of the most famous geobiologist who ever came from Chicago, Lynn Margulies. Was born in Chicago, and she eventually later married a very famous astronomer. Her name was Lynn. Because I want to connect you with some people on this matter of protecting the city of Chicago. And I just, well, mainly I just want to have a female voice representing Chicago, and that's what you're doing. Okay, well, you're fine. Well, transfer me whoever you think is involved in geobiology in Chicago. Okay, what services do you provide? Do you provide street protection? What are the categories that you have that you can try connecting with the Bureau for Forestry? All right. Can't seem to get someone who's willing to talk to someone on the phone. There's all very segmented. Notice how segmented everybody is in our society.
You have reached the city of
That they can't
for emergency.
wait to find out what you're talking about before they start transferring you to someone else. That's the way we've dronified people in our society. Everybody has their little tiny task, but they can't hear a larger a request. That's what's going on in our society. Ms. Zaga, did you say? Hi, Ms. Vaca. Could you hold for 1 second? I'm bringing someone else to the phone. I'll be right back with you, okay? Try it again. Try it again. Miss Abel, did you say? Miss Abel, can you hold about 15 seconds? I have to get someone else on the line. 15, 35 seconds, okay? Hold on. Miss Abel? Oh, why is this doing this. Maybe I should try mute. This is going to take a while to get this task done. Hi, Miss Nicholson. I'm so glad to reach you. I need to put you on hold for about 45 seconds. Can you not hang up? I need to bring something very special to the line, okay? Hold on, don't hang up. Ms. Nicholson, are you there? Ms. Nicholson, we're speaking into a special line that I have just created to honor a home that was in Chicago. This is Women's History Month, you know? And there was a home that our great and grandmothers, Ray and her sister Clara, was a sister named Clara. She ran with our grandmother as her Harriet, and they raised also Harriet and her younger sister Jacqueline there in Chicago for 3 decades. Women came to this place to try on hats, and it was in the Depression. And I'm wanting to welcome you. What we have been doing is using this place as a center place to give gender parity in decision making to women and to all people as a gift, and also to honor mothers and children, particularly mothers and babies. Do you know if the city of Chicago has anything special right now for mothers and babies, both little baby girls and little baby boys who are wholly born?
Well, it depends what type of services is because they have a lot of services. Is there anything specific?
Well, we want to invite symbolically your family. Do you have a mother who's with you here on this planet, or is she passed yet?
Okay, I don't ask the person's questions.
Well, that's all right. Whatever your mother's name is, we'll anoint her with gender parity, and you too, and your great and grandmothers, and all your sisters and your cousinas. And we're doing this also with some, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And we're also doing this for a very special group of women who can prevent not only an environmental catastrophe in Chicago, but also are related to the family of Stargate opening.
Okay.
The very famous Lynn Margulies and Carl Sagan family that went to the University of Chicago. And we just want to do that with you for Georgine, Marion, and Marion Hadadas, and Julianne Marie, and Vanessa, and Georgine, and Lisa. And you're all gathered here, and we're kind of grabbing you off the street and grabbing you. And you've been gathered at this marvelous place. It was at 3521 Independence Boulevard. We now call it Interdependence Boulevard and Risen Roosevelt Road. Are you there? And she hung up. That's okay. At least she stopped by. We'll leave this message.
To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage greeting, press 3. To hear messages recorded in this extension, press 4. To delete this extension, press 8.
Okay, you heard that. That was broadcast. I didn't have a chance to say that to her because she got off the phone so quickly, but Google automatically broadcasts this. And she knew she was leaving it on a recorded line, so we're all right with that. And now we're just going to let our family know and do some more outreach this way. I think we need to have some additional voices of women. All right, it's on there. Okay. Okay. Miss Abelus? Hi, Miss Abelus. Can you hold on for just a second? I'm going to get someone else on the line with us. Hold on, okay? It'll take me about 35 seconds, so just hold on. Okay? Thank you. Hello? Hello? Hi, Mrs. Keating. Can I put you on hold for about 45 seconds and I'll explain to you why? Hold on. I have to bring someone else to the phone. Hold on, okay? Mrs. Keating, are you there? Mrs. Keating, I am calling one of the several women, a number of women. There's one by the name of Marion, another one who we're calling right now, Julianne Marie. I've already called Marion with someone else like you also. And there's a woman named Vanessa, Lisa and Georgine. And they have the power as what I'd almost call living goddesses, but it's more like science fiction made fact. It's more like the ability to travel in space-time, to protect Chicago from impending nuclear or environmental catastrophe disaster, and also give everyone there the access to what our family, which is related to the most famous geobiologist who ever lived, Lynn Margulies, who was from Chicago, and met Lynn Alexander Margulies met Carl Alexander Sagan, the famed astronomer who wrote Contact, all about stargates, a very famous family. And that's our family. And I am inviting you and all of this. I already called Mrs. Nicholson on your line, and we left a message on a special phone line, which is at extension 3521 on our regular family tree phone line, that we're gathering at this hat store. And I'm also at this home that was a hat store, and also the mothers did breastfeeding there. And my family is very important in teaching the importance of breastfeeding. I don't know, are you aware of how so many women around the world, and so many men too, are now talking about how important on cue breastfeeding for the first 2 or 3 years of life is for children and for development of the best fully developed human beings?
Okay, yes, but who are you inviting, or me?
Well, I'm inviting you. You said your name is Mrs. Keating?
Invitations. I'm just an operator here.
Well, you're a good operator. You're operating very well. And I do this also in honor of your mother and your great and grandmother, because we're kind of traveling back in time to this place.
Understand. But I'm answering the city phone, so.
Well, you did a good job, and you came, and we wanted to leave this message, and we're also including, of course, Hadass and Vanessa and Harlan Luslaviz, and Soma and Meredith and Vanessa and Harlan Luslaviz, and I'm leaving messages for them at this very special place. Thank you so much.
Okay, so are you trying to invite somebody from the city?
Well, we're wanting you to celebrate it. It was at 3521 on Independence, we now call it Independence Boulevard, near Roosevelt Road, which we like to call Roosevelt Road.
Yes, Roosevelt Road. Do you want to invite the mayor's office?
I'll invite Amy Merritt Reall. I'd like to invite, I consider all these women more mayor than the mayor, and I've already written the mayor about that a long time ago,
but I have,
the so-called mayor.
Yeah, I have an invitation email address that you can invite the mayor's office. You want to take down that email address?
Well, I have access to the mayor's, the family of Amy Merritt Reall, who I consider the real, along with these women, the real mayors and all their youth, female and male. And you can read about this at 5050now.wordpress.com.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm so glad we could leave this message and make sure that it is communicated to this very special baby girl who has heritages at this home, which was also a gathering place for women during 3 decades. And this is Women's History Month, and we want to celebrate this place.
All right, but I'm not taking a message because I'm on a city line, so there's no personal calls allowed.
Well, that's all right. Do you have access to a computer when you go home?
I do.
Go to 5050now.wordpress.com and look up. You'll see under the Ultimate Casinas, well, there's the Behavioral Mysteries. We're doing our...
Press 1 at any time. To listen to your message, press 2. To read
okay.
Press 3. To mark message marked or message.
Okay, you did a great job, Ms. Keating. I think this could help people today. I hope so.
Okay.
Bless you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, as you can see, we're now we want to break through the denial in our culture, in people that we love, and in all of our culture about the importance of what the divine feminine do. They raise children, they bring people together, and we're going to do our hearing, but we also wanted to do quickly our beautiful ceremony. You've heard us give the names of all the people at this store, and their names are at 5050now.wordpress.com under all the representatives, you, and you. Scroll down to North America, and you'll see our family, and all of the names of the people, all of those names that are written there are included in this ceremony and more. So we'll say, the light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one, as soon as possible. Their pictures are also there. If you go to among the representatives section under the grassroots grassroots assemblies, courts, and congresses, and you'll see the names of all of our family, including our great grandmothers. All of their names that is the gathering place of this place. It is on the website, and we've given to you many, many times. And we want to do a kind of quick ceremony today because we have so much to do. But we especially want to honor Sarah Harriet and Reall, who are the proprietoresses of this gathering place. And of course, Grandma Popper, Grandma Margulies, and also I'm just going to name a few of the names today, but we want to gather all of these branches of family that are mentioned there. As Sarah Harriet and Little Ya, and Grandma Antoinette, and all of these as goddesses, Grandma Rose, Grandma Marie, Grandma Popper, Grandma Feldmar, Grandma, that's Dorothy, and we're also including all of the various cultures that came through the hat store, and also Nisa and her mother Iona with Lynn, and also most importantly Marion with Hadass, with Naomi and Ruth, with Barbara, Rachel Marie, Danielle Juliet, Soma with Meredith, and Giselle and Vedanta, and Barbara with Judy and their mother, whose name was, I think, Elizabeth, and also Anna Marie and Ma Patricia with their great grandmothers, Myrtle, Rose, and so forth. They're all listed there, and all their current Shekinah and all of the women and all of the youth, females and males, aged 37 and younger, which also include Victoria, and with Libertia and Mariama, and also with Vanessa, with all of our mothers, also mothers with sons, with and aunts, great aunts, and I am one, with great Julia Marie and I, and Harlan Laviz with Vanessa, and with Mary and Hannah and Ross and so forth. And we're also including Georgine, very importantly, and making sure that she knows that this is on here, with Malka and Shirley, because Georgine's family has the ability to connect us into the Stargates by the Divine Feminine. And so we want to make sure that she knows that she is being mentioned here as one of the people who can prevent a disaster in Chicago, with Julia Marie, with Nisa, with Marion, with Julia Marie, with Nisa, and with Jennifer, the daughter of Lynn Margulies, the famed geobiologist, and also with all of the other Shekinah, including Debbie and with Julie and Dory and Dale and Dana and all of the branches that we did connect with, maybe prematurely, and also we're including Jan, and we're including all the other women, and let's see, who am I leaving out? Anna Maria with her sister Julianne, and Francesca with their great daughters, a well-known family of the Margulian family, including all the Margulian, all the Silverkindian, all the Zalkindian, and all the Feldmarian lines, and all the people on these lines. I am standing for them, but I'm trying to get them to come themselves, and that's where we're doing our trial. Why it is that women don't come, and why men don't pay more attention to these realms of life. What is it we're lacking in our education, in our culture, that doesn't teach people the truth about these situations, and the balance of the yin and yang? And so let me just say quickly, so we'll the light is on all our hearts. We'll celebrate, we'll say hugs and love to all, both, and each and everyone as soon as possible. And also we have our milk of human kindness. We just did some calls around the importance of breastfeeding, and we've been discussing this with some of these women to say that this is the key issue in the Eleusinian mysteries, is the breastfeeding, the relationship of mother and child. That is our holy story too, about Christmases and eternal, and how do you become an eternally risen adult? You keep that importance in your knowledge, the importance of the milk of human kindness, the mother and baby child on-cue breastfeeding through age 2 or 3 until normal natural weaning occurs, and keep that in your process of your family and your community and everyone celebrating it. And that is the milk of human kindness also throughout life that emerges when we do that as a culture. And so especially Julia Marie, Marion and Jennifer and Julia Marie and Barbara and Georgine now, we think also has the very key to this, and with the important young people, Hadass, but most important, Hadass, Rachel Marie, Danielle, Juliet, Vanessa, and Soma, and on the guys' side we've got Harlan Louis Laviz and Ross and Marcel. We want to bring these people together for our big Eleusinian ceremony, but they're not coming, but I am figuring out a way to put this on their line so they can hear it, and they'll know that this was occurring. And we'll drink the milk of human kindness for all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible, on behalf of all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll drink the water of loving, living planets that will sustain and regain all our planet Earth to be, past, present, and future, and I should say with the milk, as Equinox True Q's co-Secretary Generals. and I really should have said on the phone, and I'm going to correct it when I call the line again, that we are more mayors than the mayor, and we are co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. I should have used the words, and I'll do that on the next phone call. And we'll drink the water of loving, living planets that will regain and sustain our Earth and all our planets to be, past, present, and future, as Equinox True Q's Secretary General's Co-SZT, Co-Secretary General's Co-SZT. Okay. I'll get that call process right in a minute. I'm going to approve that. And we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, and future, starting with our equinox year months and our years rounds months. Our equinox, both spring and autumnal, which is spring in the southern hemisphere, and thinking like a circle, and all of our years rounds. And as Equinox True Q's Co-Secretary General's Co-SZT. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, and future, as Equinox True Q's Co-Secretary General's Co-SZT. Okay. And we'll now do our consciousness currencies. The importance of this change and shift to the divine feminine is worth trillions and zillions of dollars in avoided damage to people, the end of our planet, and also on the positive side, the creativity that emerges when we do this. So we have our Shekinahs, past the hat shop sponsoring Shekinahs, and the current Shekinahs, and all our young Shekinahs and Shekinahs included. And we'll start fresh. We'll make the judgment of parity instead of patriarchy. I'm going to make that happen this week. I'm doing that this week. God is God. Please pray for my loved ones that don't understand what I'm doing. Please let my intercessory gestures here be good enough. Don't let them fall through into the next incarnation, a lower incarnation, or me either. Let us become risen in this incarnation by choosing parity, past, present, and future, and opening the stargates instead of plutonic patriarchy that is devolving and then destroying our Earth. So let's choose patriarchal paradise. Let's choose parity paradisal on this and all our planets. That's what we choose. On behalf of all humanity and all my family, dearest, all the dearest community known to me, past, present, and future. Okay, and now I'm going to make some other phone calls.
We can't come to the phone right now, but...
Hi, Stacy, Anastasia. I'm broadcasting, and we could hear you. And I want to know. I know I already did this with Marian and Hadass earlier today, and with Soma and Meredith. And I've begun leaving messages for, and also will include also Barbara and Rachel Marie and Danielle Juliet, and also leaving messages for Julianne Marie and your mother, obviously important, Cheryl, and all your Shekinah. We want you to bring Jill. We want you to bring Andrea, and we want you to bring Jill, and we want you to bring Dorothy, the memory of Dorothy with Merle. This is very important. And I had on the voice here, coming through on the internet, the voices of women who we kind of grabbed off the street, you might say, the telephonic street, people who were available by telephone, and grabbed them to meet at this hat store that was the home that our children were breastfed in. Our great and grandmothers breastfed our great Harriet and I think little Ya, her sister, wasn't as well. She had an assistant who was involved in the home because it was during the Depression, and her name was Lillian Gay. And also, so the importance of the divine feminine, the attention to children, the loving of the breastfeeding. This is so important to Julianne Marie because Julianne Marie was colic, and now is such an expert on how to not make the error of too short breastfeeding or not on cue breastfeeding. And in the 1940s, so many of the mothers were taught by their evil obstetricians like Dr. Strauss to not on cue breastfeed.
Reach the maximum time allowed to make your recording. To review or re-record your message, press 1. To mark your message urgent, press 2. To mark your message private, press 3. Marked urgent. Your message has been sent.
Hi, we can't come to the phone right now, but leave us a message and we'll get back to you. Thanks.
And of course, we're including Vanessa with her mother, who I'm calling Victoria, and all of her Shekinah, all of their various names. There's a bunch of them there too, as well as Julia Marie and I with Harlan Lewis Laviz. We're doing this. Now, we have to judge a society that doesn't teach people that this is important. We are doing hearings to judge our society and the roles that people play that are so bifurcated that the genders don't recognize the importance of the divine feminine, and that even women don't gather to celebrate it. That is really a telling tale of a very, very fallen society. So we need to get the balance back and call these women co-secretary generals, co-sefiras, along with their young people like you, all of you young people aged 37 and younger, as co-sefiras, co-secretary generals, along with your mothers and great aunts and great, all of the women going back and forth in time. And so that's why I'm leaving this call, and I want you to come. And we're judging all of the family, especially the mothers, like Julia Marie especially, with great mercy, of course, to understand why, if women don't think it's important to celebrate their own heritage, what's going on here that women don't think it's important to celebrate their own heritage. So I'm leaving this message for you, and this was Broadcast, dear. Every blessing. And I want you to call Vanessa and Harlan Lewis of his. And I want to connect you with Hadass and Marion and Barbara and Rachel Marie and Danielle Juliet. And there's others in your area too. There's Jamie and Robin and Andrea. It's another from our family. There's and lots of Margulian families there too, and all around. So I want to connect you and make these connections and help us make our circle. Every blessing.
To review or re-record your message, press 1. To mark your message urgent, press 2. To mark your message private, press 3. Mark your message has been sent. To send a message to another
Okay, and now let's leave a couple more messages. And I forgot to tell her.
Hi, we can't come to the phone right now, but leave us a message and we'll get back to you. Thanks.
Hi, and I'm also saying one more thing, really to you and Hadass and you together with Rachel Marie and Danielle Juliet and Soma and Vanessa, and with the younger men, Harlan Lewis Laviz and Ross and Marcel, that I've also created an additional line on that phone tree at 641-715-3800. And it's access code now 3521, which was the address of the home that was this hat gathering place and community gathering place for women and children and youth. So you can also call in there, and but it's better to watch and to come and co-host us with this. Every blessing, dear. As soon as you come, things will brighten up there in Chicago, and you'll avoid a catastrophe.
to review or
Hi,
To review or re-record your message, press 1. To mark your message has been sent. To send a message to another subscriber, enter the area code and phone number of that subscriber, or press the star key to enter. No name. Type.
Hi, Vanessa and Halleluja and Vanessa. I left the beginnings of a message. I just kind of grabbed her off the telephonic street. A woman who left a message on, created a new line, 3521 on the phone tree. That is to symbolize gathering at the hat store. It's the hat store gathering place. It's the address that was the place that was a home. It was a home, and it only became a hat store later, but it was a balance of love and work example of what can be done out of the home, and it was very ahead of its time. And we want to open the stargates from there. And so I have a lady whose name is Mrs. Nicholson, who I am told that we were celebrating the place today, and she came and she was there and part of it. She didn't fully understand what I was saying to her. And next time I'll do an even better job of calling her and you and all of our Shekinah and youth, females and males, age 37 and younger, co-secretary general, co-SZT, even more than mayors, better than mayors. You're all of the above and more. And because you're local, global, and universal co-leaders. And also we talked about the breastfeeding. We talked about that on the line with her. You'll hear it a little bit. And we left that kind of a message for some of the women too on the importance of breastfeeding. And Georgine and Julia Marie and Nisa and Marion and Georgine and Julia Marie and Nisa and I and some of the other women can really prevent a disaster for you and anyone there at and of course Victoria with Vanessa and all of the mothers and the daughters and the great and grand sisters. If we could get some of these kazinas, that's the way to prevent a problem there. So I did the ceremony again and refer to the place on the website where your names are listed as co-leaders, co-secretary generals, co-SZT. This is who you really are. But the family process is all bollocksed up, and we're going to fix that up today and tomorrow and this week. I'm going to completely fix it up and to make sure that all the older men start understanding the importance of mothers and babies and women's connections and start doing that in a better way. I am judging them. I'm calling them as witnesses. I'm calling all people in our family as witnesses, and I've kind of started with the women, but we'll call the men too, and we're going to kind of accuse some of the men. We're going to hold an accusation towards some of the older men and the women who have been letting the men not understand how important they are and how their children and youth are, and accountable now, with mercy, of course. And I'm going to say that you should listen to the 3521. It's just the beginning of the mustard seed there. There's going to be better messages in the future. And I really should have brought Anna Marie and Mount Patricia there, and I will do that too, because I really was starting out with them on that 555 line in a kind of an ambiguous place. We really want to start it out with the home that was our grandmother's and great grandmother's place of raising. And of course, not only do we honor Margulies and Grandma Popper and Grandma Ray and Clara, and bringing her sister there, and Antoinette, and little Ya, well, obviously as Harriet with little Ya when they were little there, and when Harriet was helping Ray do what they did there, gathering the women and all of the community. They did that. This is Women's History Month, and this should be celebrated. And these women were unappreciated goddesses. And also Georgine with Malka, and also Precious Antoinette, and Risen Rose, who lived right nearby, and she's coming with all her branches. And also, and I'll make sure to call them today and make a contact with them today. I'll call Marcia today, so we're not leaving her out. And you'll start calling in on that line. Start of the 3521 line. I'll start leaving messages for all of you there. So for now on, I'm going to leave only very brief messages here, and I'll do the recording online at the same time, and I'll record it on the 3521 line, and I'll refer to you as individuals, but within the context of the circle. And I'll do very, very, very more minimal messages here on these individual lines, and more on the 3521 line, all this week. And see if we can get even the men eventually to come to this place and venerate it as they should. That's what we want to do. And but we have to start with the women, or the men don't get it. And so although some men would already get it. Maybe you do. Maybe Vanessa and Harlan Luther is your men, and you young people too. And also including, so all of the names of all of your great grandmothers that I always say, as everyone included on Victoria, Rhea, Mariama, and Victoria, and Estrella, and Libertia, and Raquel, and Lynn, and Sharon, and also, of course, all of these women that I've mentioned. And now someone actually did come, and so we had an actual woman's voice in addition to mine on this broadcast, and I'm going to keep bringing them, like I'm grabbing them off the street, until I can get enough of a momentum going here to have people come who are of our own family and community, more known to us, more closely related. Now, the people that Mrs. Nicholson, she is a Kazina. She's a Kazina. Everybody on earth is at most 50th Kazina and cousin from everyone else. So she's already a Kazina. You have a Kazina's voice on the 3521 line in addition to mine. And of course, I honor, so I said all the names. Did I say all the names? Precious Antoinette, Risen Rose, and the branches of Popper and Dorothy and Lynn, and I have to get that. That's one of the women I have to get to come. They're very important, and I'll be doing that this week. On the Lynn, on the Margulies line, that's Jennifer, and also Rachel and Carrie, who are involved in the Stargate family. Okay, and that's with Georgine, because her family's involved in the Stargate family too. And now we know that. Now we know that for sure. And so, and I'm leaving this message. Donnie Aurora Fleas and Mary Rainbow Sweetheart. Mary Rainbow Sweetheart and Donnie Aurora Fleas are, I'll say hi and hugs to Heather and Jam and Heather. Here's Donnie Aurora Fleas. You can see her. And Heather and Mary Rainbow Sweetheart is nearby. And Donnie Aurora Fleas say hi and hugs to Heather and Jam and Heather. And on behalf of Whiskers and Tiger and Holly and Buttermilk and Blackie and Buttermilk and Felix, and all the flora and the fauna, and all the pets, and those big, including those big, beautiful white dogs that are so beautiful and kind and gentle, female and male, both of them, and all of yours there, and all the people too, starting with the Shekinas and the young people aged 37 and younger. First go first as Co-Secretary General's Co-Savior Roz, Equinox, True Cues. As soon as you heed what I say, put the milk in front of Julianne Marie and really immerse your cell phones, if you can, kind of almost dip them in the milk, and then give me a call that way. Tell them to give me a call that way. Dip them in the baby mother milk. That's what we want to do. Dip it in the baby mother milk, and that's what we're going to do to bring apotheosis, because it's that keeping their holy inner child young that gives everybody their creativity to open the stargates and solve all the problems of the world, heal all the diseases, etc., etc., etc. That's where it comes from. And when we as a society face that, and Julie Marie is an excellent spokesperson for that, then we will be doing so much better as a society, and we will open the stargates. And all of our Shekinahs and Hekinahs will come giving us big hugs, and that's what we want to do. And so we also include the names of the men of the family. Wow, Julian, Alan, Emil, Oscar, Paul, the younger brothers of Joseph and Milton, and Carl. And I say huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. And so for now on, what I'm going to do on these individual lines is I'll just say huge hugs and give the kisses, and then give the more complete message on the 3521 line. And I'll try to have some other additional women's voices there. That'll be the way I'm going to do it for the future. I will say just very briefly the kisses and the hugs here, and give you all that I just gave you now for the future will be on the 3521 line for the moment. And then we'll eventually get it also with a combined line of 3521 and the 6315, or we'll add that to 6315. I'll put that together, and we'll put that as a line that we're calling into both of them together. So right now we're just doing the 3521 line, just so we get your attention about the importance of that, and then we can combine 3521 and 6315 and imply all of our current addresses and phone numbers as traveling through time and opening the stargates by the risen eternal feminine, and therefore the risen eternal masculine. Love you both, and you know you could call me 24/7. Don't go to patriarchal medical people. Call Martha Howard. I'll make sure to include her on this information too, and she can come to the hat store too. That's the way we'll do it. The home that was the hat store. Love you. Every blessing. Hello, holy baby. Hi, holy babies, Julie Marie and Georgine. I've left a beginning of a mustard seed of a message on the 3521 extension. In the future, I'm only going to leave very brief messages on anyone's individual lines. It's just going to consist of hugs and kisses, and then refer you to the 3521 line. And after you come there, then we'll combine it and make it a 3521-6315. And then whatever addresses we are at, we can also imply them, traveling through time. We're going back to that gathering at the home that was the place where the babies were breastfed, and the people came for trying on hats of democracy, and the neighbors came, and all of the women and the youth, females and males, came. I'll call back in a longer message on this line in a few minutes.
No name. Type but press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To change your custom greeting, press 1. Please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Hi, Vanessa and Hallelujah, love is and Vanessa. There is a message on the 3521 extension, just the beginning. I kind of grabbed someone off a telephonic street, you might say, and celebrated the home that was the hat gathering place and community gathering place with them. And her name is Mrs. Nicholson. I honored her great-grandmothers too. But you have to know that's a cousina. Even though it's kind of a distant cousina, we're all related. So she's no more than 50th cousina away from you both. And now we obviously want our more closely related cousines and shekinas to come, and all the youth shekinas and hikinas first. That's more optimal. But I'll take anybody as long as we don't forget the value and the importance of this particular spot, because we can open up the stargates from here. I'm telling you, we can do it once we understand this. And then we won't suffer all the ills that we have on our planet. We'll understand the importance of the divine feminine, and the divine masculine can rise also. And so now I say, of course, the names of the people. Now, in the future, on these individual lines, all I'm going to say is hugs and do the hugs and the kisses. And beyond that, I'm going to, and I already did the ceremony. You can watch it on the video. I'd rather you watch it on the video and see it as a ceremony that's honoring you all together in a group, and not just individually. But I do want to hold this up, and I should have done it for Vanessa, and I was kind of thinking too much and doing too fast. But this is equally for Vanessa and Harlan, who's Laviz holding up the milk. And but for now on, I'm just not going to do it on these individual lines. I'm going to do it on the group line first, and then maybe I'll do it once on the individual lines, not twice a day, okay? Because we need to get you to come to a group line that's in honoring this special place, so we can open the heart gates. I'm holding up the budding blooming flowers and heart light, and also the cakes. The cakes are right here too. Okay, but I already did this while I was broadcasting, and you can see it. And I did it for all of us, you know, all the family. Okay, and we start with the women and the youth, females and males, age 37 and younger, and then all the family. Okay, so you're included, but you're not putting you in trouble. The fact that you're not coming and your mothers are not orienting you to come to this shows that this is a society that has almost completely depleted, and you might say destroyed its divine feminine. And that is a very dangerous society and can't last very long without extreme horrors to the people who live in it. So you don't want this. You don't want this. What we have right now, it's all wrong. It's yang yang instead of yin yang. So we want to say all the names. They're on the, I'll be adding them. I'll do a longer version of the message on the 3521 line. I'll add to it. Right now it's a mustard seed, but I'll do a longer one. And make sure that Hadassah and her mother, and Vanessa and her mother, you know, Marian and Victoria, and as well as Julia Marie and Mary and all these women. I want to make sure, and Nisa and all these folks, that you know how to know that these are being left for you. And every time I do a broadcast online, it'll be on the 3521 line. That's a better line than doing it Winston right now, the Winston Towers line. I'd rather do it on the one that we're traveling back in time to the home that was the hat gathering place. And of course, honoring all the names, Sarah Harriet, Ray Rayette, and Grandma Popper and Grandma Margulies, Ray, Clara, Sarah Harriet with with Lillian Gay, with Precious Antoinette. Very important. And all her lines, she had daughters and sons, right? Very important. And but of course we have Ray having 2 daughters is very important, and our mother, as Sarah Harriet, having 2 daughters is a very important transitional thing that we have to value, and that we have to help Julia Marie to value and know her expertise on the issue of on-cue breastfeeding. She has expertise there that we have to help her take pride in instead of hiding. She has to take pride in her understanding of her recovery. And let's see, and Risen Rose, who live right nearby, and all her branches. I'm going to make sure to be in touch with Marcia today. And let's see, and Grandma Popper and Grandma Marie, Rose's mother of loving kindness and flow, and Dorothy and all the branches there. Already was in touch with Stacy Anastasia today and all her family, including Cheryl, including all of them. And I'm going to call and let's see. So also the men of the family. Did I say Vanessa's family? Very important for you also to think of, Harlan Liz, and both of you. This is line for both of you, but I emphasize Harlan a little bit here to emphasize Victoria, Mariama, Estrella, Libertia, Sharon, and Raquel, and Lynn, and of course all the famous family too, Lynn and Raquel, Rachel, and Carrie. I'm going to make sure that they know about this and make sure I disseminate this conversation more at the 3521 and why it's so important to opening the stargates. And obviously Georgine with Malka and Shirley and Theodora and Martha with their family. We're going to open the stargates from where you are at by coming back in time to this place. And Donia Aurora Fleas and Maria Rainbow Sweetheart, and Donia Aurora Fleas say hi and hugs to Heather and Jam and Heather. And on behalf of Whiskers and Tiger and Holly and Buttermilk and Blackie and Buttermilk. And I'm going to, for now on, I'm just going to say this on the 3521 line. This will be the, I'm going to stop doing that after today on individual lines, but put it very much, and I'll, make sure that I'll emphasize each one of your names very clearly on the 3521 line. So you have a sense of gathering somewhere related to this place, that our family was so stupid that we didn't gather here for so many decades. We missed the eternal feminine, and the society is becoming a caricature of masculinity. It isn't true masculinity at all. It's monstrosity instead of masculinity that's occurring in this society. That's why people are becoming more like machines instead of people. And that's what's going on. So, and go call Martha Howard, and I'll include her on this line, make sure she knows about this too. And so she's gathering with us at the hat store too, at the home that was at the hat store, hat gathering place. And also the men of the family. If I left any names out, you know what they are. You include them. And Julian and Lewis and Helen and Emil, Oscar, Paul, and Joseph and Elton with the younger brothers. The younger brothers really should come first. Yes, they come first for a change. And Carl. And you can call me 24/7, and I give you huge hugs. And I say this now, Donnie Rurflees, and I think I said all the kitty cats. I hope so. All the kitty cats, Donnie Rurflees and Martin Rapist Peter, and Donnie Rurflees, and Heather and Jam, Heather, and all the Blackie and Buttermilk, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Whiskers and Tiger and Holly, Whiskers and Tiger and Holly, Holly and Tiger, and Blackie and Buttermilk, Buttermilk and Blackie, and Felix. Why do I go over this? Because we have to have respect for all the varieties of life on this planet. To steward ourselves properly, we have to respect the creation of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. I'm not some kind of idiot that just blathers these names. This is to teach us something about the life forms that we have to co-steward. And of course, it includes all of the pets, the furry friends, including the pets, the big white dogs, female and male. Let me get that order right, because we have to recover from our thousands of years of putting the female way down the line. And let's see, all the people, the butterflies, the birdies, and the bees, and all the people too of our local, global, universal neighborhoods. And we'll say huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs.
To save this message, your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage greeting, press 3. To hear messages recorded, your input is invalid.
No, my input's very valid. That's a machine talking. I have a better plan. Hi, baby Julie Anne Marie, holy baby Julie Anne Marie, and we there's a message that's just the beginning of a mustard seed out of 3521 that was also broadcast on the internet, where we got a woman kind of grabbing her off the street of the telephonic street into the home that was the hat raising place, the hat trying on place, that all of our great grandmothers were there, and all they raised the children and took care of the community. Now, it's at the 3521 extension. It's just a mustard seed, and I'm going to improve on it. It's also been broadcast. So I'm going to continue to bring women. They may seem like perfect strangers, but they're not. They're at least, at most, 50th Kazina to us, because everyone is all related. So we have Mrs. Nicholson there, and she's on there. And we want to change ourselves from being nickels to golden. That's what we want to do. And we have Georgine, of course, to connect with me. Georgine, you know, now has something to do with, really a lot to do with divine feminine and production of catastrophe, and also family therapy, and also the Stargates. She has all of it combined in her family tree. So now you know that Georgine is there for a purpose, and you're supposed to talk with her about something other than the zoning laws. You know, you have a different higher law here. It's the law of the divine feminine that you have to begin to talk with her about. And we've got, we discussed the issue of breastfeeding with the women on the line and on your line, and I'm going to make sure that that's done every day. Now, from now on, I'm only probably going to do maybe one very brief call on these individual lines, and it'll just be hugs and kisses. And on the main messages will be on the 3521 line. And as soon as people start coming to the conferences as co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, co-hostesses, and co-hosts, then we'll also combine the 3521 line with the 6315 North line, which also will include more about the men. So we need to do that, and I want to do that. And of course, we honor Grandma Popper, Grandma Margulies, and Grandma Popper, Grandma Margulies, Ray, Clara, Tara Harriet, Lilia, you and me, obviously, with Barbara. Well, let me go back to the previous generation. Antoinette, Rose, Precious Antoinette, Risa Rose, and Grandma Popper, and Dorothy, and all the Shekinah, including the famous ones, Francesca and all that line, and Lynn and all that line, and Rachel and Carrie and all the Stargate line, okay? And they're all interconnected with us. And we have the Margulian, the Silverkind Goldian, the Zalkindian, and the Feldmarian lines coming together. We want to do this before the end of the month. Be sure that you're all gathered here. We'll travel back in time to the equinox. We'll be a little bit late, but we'll do it. And I hope Goddess God will continue to give us the intercessory, and let me act as intercessor. You really don't know what you're doing. She's so deeply embedded in yang in this society. So the women are men and the men are men. There's no women in this society. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody's imitating men. And why aren't the men learning from the women and becoming a little bit more like women in order to protect the society from war and from disease and from exploitation? That's the question. Why did our women's movement push us in the direction of women becoming like men instead of both genders becoming more balanced? That's what went wrong. And it went wrong in part because you and I became separated, Julie Anne Marie. And also because we lost a grandma from this planet before we had a chance to do that properly. So I want you to know, and all these people are honored. And of course, Vanessa's family too, and Marion's family too, and all of that, all their great grandmothers and all their Shekinah, and the two young ladies, Hadassah and Vanessa, and Stacy Anastasia and her mother. All of that has to come together, and I understand this completely. And if our family does this, we will open the stargates. This is all about anthropology and how it connects with other modalities of human behavior, everything from medicine and law to biology and astronomy. It's absolutely all connected. So you can call me 24/7. I'm going to try to take on some of the yang, but that really isn't the issue here. The issue is to gather the female. The issue is to empower the divine feminine. And I have already defied the yang, and I'm going to make sure that it is my plan to think about which is the direction to go in first. We have some very yang men in our family, and that's part of the problem, that you're interacting with them, and you're also interacting them at work. And the women that you're dealing with are interacting with them at work. And they're not balanced men. They're very, very yang, but they're used to it. They don't know that they've all been like frogs boiled slowly in hot water. Their whole society is yang, 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 and is not working properly because the women are becoming yang instead of balancing the men and women to be more whole and holy together. So I think you understand this. I am holding up the, I'm not going to continue to do this, but I did it online as a ceremony. I'm holding up the heart light, the milk for you again because you need it so badly. And also the marvelous, miraculous, budding, living flowers in the heart light, and the cakes. And I'm also including the family. I'm making sure to be in touch today with the family that I attempted marriage with. They're important too. They had something to do with Solomon School. I'm including Mrs. Light's family too. This is all important. Our family had an enormous community there that we didn't recognize its value of the intergenerationally intertwined family trees. Now I see what it was. We missed a lot of what we had. We didn't know how valuable it was. That's why we went away to school without recognizing, and went away, and I moved away and didn't come back often enough. All of this is because the culture doesn't teach what this is all about. So I am holding up the cakes, and you can call me 24/7, and I say huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. And I think what I'm going to do is take all these individual messages and load them onto the 3521 line later today or tonight, and make sure that there is a common area where you're gathering and you're experiencing your very great, important individual gifts, and yet within a group circle context. That's very important. So I'm going to send this message.
To save this message, press 1. To hear it again, press. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage greeting, press 3. To hear messages recorded in this extension, press 4. To delete this extension, press 8. To return to the main menu, press 9.
Okay, now we're showing the scales, and what we're going to do is contact some of the men in our family community system and ask them what they know about the laws of breastfeeding, and if they've ever heard of any of the male experts in that area. And men who are in professions that are very, very yang, and some of them are interacting with our family. So we're going to do this online, and we're going to let them know that we're not singling them out, that this is not to cause any difficulty to anybody in particular. We're not trying to single out difficult people or accuse anybody of being bad. People play different, as the Q says in Star Trek, the universe is a stage and all the people are players. What is the script that is written being for them underneath the society that they live in? Is the script patriarchal or is the script holistic? Let's say that parity is holistic. Parity is holy. So is the script partial and patriarchal, or is it parity and holistic and holy? That is the issue. Okay, so let's do that. And all right, okay. And let me just see that my family is there. Oh, I left it on mute. I can't believe I left that on mute. I can't believe I left this on mute. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to redo that call. Can't believe I left that on mute. Okay, we're going to do that again.
Sorry. Blake, Sarah. Is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, Blake. It's Rochelle again. I realized that I didn't do my message correctly, and I wasn't sure if I left it for you completely. So let me do it again. Julianne Marie has a neighbor whose name is Georgine Goldenberg, whose family qualifications on the genealogical family tree make her aware of a different level of law than you are currently aware of. She has on her family tree one of the most famous goddess theologians. Her name is Naomi Goldenberg, and this is Georgine Goldenberg I'm talking about, who's a neighbor of Julianne Marie's, and also Myra Goldenberg, who's an expert on gender and genocide, and a third Goldenberg by the name of Irene Goldenberg, who is an expert on family therapy, and a fourth Goldenberg, who has painted a picture of the Stargates. Now, our family is connected to, as you might say, the Stargate family. Our genealogy connects us to the most famous geobiologist in the world, and Lynn Margulies. Whoever really exists, she's known for the Gaia effect. And she said that everything on Earth is interconnected. And I'm taking you on to say to you, we need to develop the connections among men in their work of what they do, and they get channeled into by our rather partialized and bifurcated society, to understand that they have been not educated in the area of social sciences and anthropology. You probably never heard of the difference between a patrilineal, and a bilineal family system and its implications for such things as disease and war and stress and so forth. You never heard of it because you weren't educated. Your media isn't educated. I've already called some of the big media companies and talked with some of their corporate lawyers. And I am talking with them because I consider myself to be the risen paraclete, the one who is predicted in the biblical telling. And more than that, our family is also connected to the ancient area of Crete, which was the Minoan civilization, later called the Minoan civilization, and was earlier on called Atlantis, the longest survived civilization without war and with great happiness for all its citizenry ever known to humankind. The people of this civilization are often called the first Europeans, and the first true Europeans. Now, Europe is way ahead of us on balance of love and work, and I'm sure you know it, but I don't know if you understand the implications for my sister and for our family. My sister can become a great community leader. I believe that what you are doing with her and what she is doing at your office is a misdirection of her talents that occurred because my sister, and you probably never had an education in this either, and I didn't know this until now. People who have had colic as babies have bonding problems later in life. They can be healed and it can be addressed. We have all the ways of healing them now. We have excellent family therapy and all kinds of stuff. My sister was colic as a baby. And she had a pediatrician whose name was Dr. Strauss, who harmed her and harmed our mother. And therefore, she has a very limited relationship with me that's too limited and has affected our family system. It's also affecting other women that she knows. And I have already gone on the radio and said that my sister and Georgine Goldenberg and some of her other friends in our family, who are very famous, one of whom is the daughter of the mother of the Gaia effect, who has written extensively about babies and breastfeeding. can save the world. And not only that, open up the stargates, because our famous family member, Lynn Alexander Margulies, married to Carl Alexander Sagan, Carl Sagan. And that is the family of the stargates, and I'm in contact with them. This is all about genealogy and what the family constellation gives to a person to give them gifts when they use their family constellation effectively. You have to, first of all, understand that in Atlantis, you would not be the head of your office. You'd have an egalitarian office already. If you lived in France, that would be the case too. If you lived in most of Europe, that would be the case already. You're not, I'm broadcasting this because I want to know what you know, and I've got a sign on the screen that shows a scales and a golden.
The maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
You can see our jurisdiction scales online, and I have recorded this, and I want to hear back from you, and I call upon you as a witness, and if I have to testify for you, I will, as a hostile witness. I love you. We want to give you all eternal life, your children, your wife, everybody that you know, and especially, of course, our family.
For recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, 3. To re-record it, 4. To add to it, your message has been sent. Goodbye.
Julianne Marie, holy baby girl, I want to say one more thing. I'm also going to call the attorneys at Stephen's office. The problem with, let me say that as a whisper, Stephen, I have already called them. And now I want to ask them the proper questions. I want to know what their training is in anthropology. I want to know what their training is in family systems. I want to know what if they have any idea of what they're doing in the larger system of the world. And I want to say, I held our younger cousin when he was a baby. He's the only one I did hold as a baby. I was old enough to hold him as a baby. And now I see what has become of him under patriarchy. I want to save us from this situation, and I want to empower you. And I've already called Blake and asked him online, and it's available on the internet, by asking him the questions and calling him as a witness. I'm also obviously going to call all of our cousins. Again, they're the most important, including the one I attempted to marry. They're going to be called too, but I want to call the women first. If you're as hostile witnesses, that's okay, then I'll speak for you. I'm doing this case as a way of loving you all and bringing you to understand the importance of gathering in a circle. There is an anthropological basis for it that is extremely important. And if you don't understand that because your training has left it out, this is a matter of education. This is not a matter of your or my personal failings. This is a matter of paradigms of society, whether a society is matrilineal, patrilineal, or bilineal, which is the ideal. and is what our family was supposed to bring forth. So I will leave more. And now there's a message on all the phone tree lines, and I've made a clear decision to leave longer messages on 3521 for now on, and that's what I'm going to do. Every blessing. And check on Vanessa and Harlan Lewis. I think that Harlan Lewis is hanging by a thread. He could go any day, Julianne Marie. He's ill, and you haven't been willing to tell me, and I'm sure he is ill. And you don't have to keep a secret from me, honey. I'm not blaming you. This is not a matter of personal blame. This is a matter of societal system.
To send your message, press 1 at any time. To listen to your message, press 2. To re-record, press 3. For more options, press 4. To cancel, press star. To mark urgent, press 1. Message marked for message sent. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. You have reached the voicemail box of
Julianne Maria, there's something else I want to say. I told Blake, and it's online, it's on the broadcast while I'm showing this scales, the scales of the earth in balance with the gold. Instead of just silver, it's got a golden scales, which follows the new millennial golden rule for true justice and love as the basis of society. And I told him the name of Georgine. And I'm going to make sure that I tell Georgine that I spoke with your supervisor there about her and her talents and her genealogical family tree. They're profound. They are profound, and I also already told your office where you live. Georgine has what it takes with you and me, with a little bit of, not too much, a little bit of systemic logic to save our planet, to save Vanessa and Harlan Lewis so they can have lives as equal and as good as Salia and Wesley of Star Trek and better. And all of us for not only thriving life on this, but on all planets. And I am completely logical. And I am as logical as Galileo was when he said the world was round, when everybody else thought it was flat. I am totally logical. So I want you to understand this. And I love you, honey. You don't understand. Something happened to you as a baby that limited your thought forms, that tilted you in a direction. And under the influence of a certain type of professional experience, it tilted you more and more and more in that direction. It's too tilted. So be careful for Vanessa and Harlan Lewis lovers in yourself. I love you. I haven't stopped loving you at all. And I love everyone in our family, and I understand what that line is from Star Trek that Q says, the universe is a stage. The universe, he says, is a stage, and we are all players. Not just the world. The universe is a stage. This is about karma. And if you understand this now, we can all, in this incarnation, become fully risen and open up the stargates. And I certainly want to give that as a gift to you because, frankly, not only have you done not right by me, but by marrying too soon, by not understanding years ago that we needed a female therapist to help you and Mom because you had issues related to the breastfeeding time. which I didn't know. We shouldn't have had a male therapist years ago. And when I got involved with the next family, I needed to gather the women. I didn't know that either. I kept asking myself, why aren't they more egalitarian? Why aren't they fighting harder for what all these other women have all around the world? And now I understand it, because this culture in general shortchanges people on breastfeeding. In general, it does. And also, it's got a huge history in terms of human oppression here, in terms of the Native Americans and the slaves, and also the people of not money. The lesser people who don't have as much money. This culture is more dominance oriented than other cultures, but that doesn't do the old CEOs any good. It's denying them eternal life. Just listen to that Star Trek episode on the neutral zone and what they say to the CEO, what they say to the CEO about real wealth. I want you to know you can call me 24/7. Look out for the younger generations, Julia Maria. I don't know how to reach them fast enough. You've been endangering them, but it isn't your wish to do so, and I understand that. We'll work on this this week.
To send your message sent. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.